Good day, everyone who is listening, and we are excited for our fifth workshop where we are gathering together to look at how the performing arts and media can impact education and how education impacts the arts as well. So we are excited to be talking about film today. Our presentation is going to be on empowering youth through the media arts. And I'm going to bring up our partner, Donna Guerin from Global Lighthouse Studios. My name is Dan Roeder, and I'm from the David Z Foundation. So welcome. Donna, any welcoming message?
Sure. I can't believe this is workshop number 5. I'm super excited. This has been so fun. I really have enjoyed doing these workshops with you and the David Z Foundation. So my name is Donna Guerin. I'm the founder of Global Lighthouse Studios, and let's get started.
Yes, so absolutely. And our special guest today, we'll come back to this in a moment. Our special guest today, I'll bring her up right now. Her name is Indra Bartona, and she is the founder of the Positivity Vibe Tribe on Twitter, both the show that is, I believe, twice weekly, right? And then the community. She's a positivity life coach, a meditation teacher, film and TV producer, TV host, model, professional speaker, and also hosts her own show, the Indra Bartona Show. Indra, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Hi, thank you so much. It's wonderful to be a part of today's workshop. Thank you all for inviting me.
Absolutely. So we always like to start with an SEL moment, and that's for those maybe not necessarily in the education sphere. It stands for social emotional learning. So what we have is we've got a Nearpod presentation that anybody watching the workshop live on social media, anybody in the studio, and anybody who watches it later for the next 30 days, you can join in at join.nearpod.com. So I'm actually going to take a moment myself and join this session just because it's a really neat way to be able to have access to the resources that we're talking about. So if you go to on a browser, it can be on your phone, it can be on an iPad, it can be on your computer, and type in join.nearpod.com. And Indra and Donna, you're welcome to do this as well.
Yes, I just joined, Daniel. So
amazing.
Yes.
So what this will do, especially since this is an international broadcast, it will allow you to not only see the slides at your own pace, like maybe if there's something that comes up that you wanted to maybe do a deeper dive on, you can actually scroll through the slideshow at your own pace, and you can have access to the resources and the website links that are there. There's also an integration in Nearpod with Microsoft's Immersive Reader. So you can actually change the slides and the information on them and the prompts to any language. I think they support about 186 languages right now. So you can actually look at the slide in your own language if English is not your first language. So we're excited to have this as a resource. And so we've got a few folks in our Nearpod session right now. And this is what it looks like for the teacher. And I can see that the students have indicated how they're feeling right now. So the prompt was, what emoji is closest to how you're feeling? Here's our choices. We've got this bright, shiny, happy one, kind of tired, kind of like, maybe angry, maybe like, I'm not feeling it. Maybe you're sad, maybe you're surprised, maybe you're just really excited. What I like to do in pretty much any lesson that I teach is do that SEL snapshot check-in so that we can see what's going on in the room, but we don't necessarily have to know like who's feeling how. We just know that feeling is in the room, and we can kind of adapt ourselves accordingly. So it looks like in our room. We've got, we're pretty excited, and we've got actually another person that joined the session, which is wonderful. Welcome. So this poll will be open for the next 30 days. So as you are populating and coming in and engaging with this content, we'd love to see how you're coming in. There will be an opportunity later to let us know how you're feeling at the end. So one of the things that is embedded in the Nearpod is Indra's website, where you can get more information on Indra and the work that she does. And I want to just take a moment now, Indra, to just give you the stage, and can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, and especially what drives you? Like, what drives your work?
Okay, so everybody, pretty much what I'm doing at the moment is I'm in development for a feature film. I also have a Positivity Vibe Tribe lifestyle show that's on YouTube. Just to start off, I guess at a really basic level, to answer that question, is what drives me is each day I feel a sense of gratitude in my heart. And everything stems from there. I think so many things, particularly in the last couple of years where the world has really changed, I feel as if it's an opportunity for us to really connect to what are the things that are important to us and to really thrive. So I would say that gratitude is a driving force for me.
Oh, that's amazing. Anything else that you'd like to highlight about your work? I mean, we'll do a deep dive on a lot in a little bit, but just anything else about kind of what, like, I'm curious, what does a day in the life of Indra look like?
Okay, let's do a day in the life.
Yeah.
So okay, so usually I will get up and I have a morning routine. So this is really important, and I feel like it's something that I wish earlier I would have even engaged as a teenager. I seem to be all over the place, but a morning routine is really important, and to do whatever is feels good for you. I like to exercise. I know Dan likes to exercise, move the body a bit. I do a salute to the sun, which is a little yoga quick series to kind of wake up my body. I will go for a power walk, do like a Pilates class, do something in the morning. I have a Pilates studio at my house, and the salute to the sun. And then I will do like a 10-minute meditation, or 15-minute. It doesn't have to be a long time, but it's about kind of opening the mind, body, and the spirit and everything, and just, feeling good. And then I make sure I have a really good breakfast. So those things, and sometimes you might have to get up early in order to do those things, but starting off with a really good morning routine, and then usually I'm organized from the night before. I've scheduled my day. So that's one other thing. I'm sort of preparing the night before for the day. And usually it's a series of, it's either meetings, immediate emails, things that I have to get to for the day. And this is usually in the second hour of my day. So the first hour is away from social media, everybody. I make sure that I am not on my phone doing things, social media usually, and then working through my day. Sometimes I have to drive down the road into a meeting the day or in the afternoon. It just vary. Every day is sort of different. And then just working through my day on my projects. Like today, when I hop off this, I will actually be working on a budget for my feature film. Nice. So that's kind of like the thing. And I'll be going back and forth with the line producer and so forth. So that's a real snapshot of my day.
Yeah, that what I got from that is a lot about balance and looking at that inner outer work. There's that internal work of having that routine and being able to set yourself up for the day. And you already preemptively set your activities up the night before. That's wonderful to hear. Something I'm definitely working on still, because sometimes I very much feel like I'm flying by the seat of my pants, and it's not the greatest feeling. So I love to hear that it's possible. It is possible to have that balance between work and life, and that inner outer work. That's amazing. So if you're watching this, please be sure you can just click on the slide right from the Nearpod. I can demonstrate that. You just click on it, and then you can actually scroll through Indra's site. You can check out all of her YouTube. She's got meditations. She's got a blog posts and just a lot of resources there, which is why we're so thrilled that you're here, Indra, because we know you have a wealth of knowledge to share with us. So some essential questions to guide conversation today. What we really want to dive into is your specialty, well, one of your specialties of film, and how we can use film and the media arts to empower youth. So question number one that we'll get to, how can we empower young voices through the media arts? Just a very open question, and maybe some best practices that we can talk about, and then some examples, some things that you've done, some things you want to do. And again, this is a conversation, everybody. So if you would like to engage with us, you can go ahead and comment on the video stream that you're watching right now, and we can engage throughout the day with you and continue this conversation. But we want to, at the end of this, we really want to equip educators and professionals with how we can engage youth. Question number two, how can we equip young people to best prepare for the industry? And I'm excited about this one because in the music industry, I always have a lot to say, and I'm so curious if the film industry is similar, with some similar challenges. And then specifically, question three, what are some of those challenges a young person might have coming into the film industry? So we're going to start by watching just a short clip of a video. And this is what we'll be centering our conversation around is authentic student voice. So Donna and Indra, if you could give me a thumbs up once I play it, just to make sure the audio is clear, because we don't want to spend 4 minutes together just watching that.
That wouldn't be very good.
That would be silly. So, all right, here we go.
I was the most anxious and antisocial person you would have met. I wouldn't have even walked up to someone to ask them a question. Student voice for me is coming out of my shell and showing people that regardless of where you start, you can always go further.
I was right. Sweet. I was contacted by a woman in our district who kind of works at the board of trustees. And she said, "Hey, Michelle, I have this student. She is an 8th grader, and she has been voicing her opinion about the budget."
Yes, and we're just going to do that without all that fidgeting.
Okay. Mom,
so I was like, okay, what 8th grader has ideas about the budget, right?
Last year, I lost 3 of my favorite teachers in the GT program, and that means 6th, 7th, and 8th graders also lost those 3 teachers. And so I was like, we got our electives cut. The 7th graders only have 2 teachers teaching them while everyone else has 4. So this is a problem. And so I saw the deficit and I was like, I wonder what I can do to change that. If you guys are doing this now, imagine what you're doing when you're our age or when you're older. You guys are going to rule the world, and it's going to be amazing.
We're having elementary school students here, which is super exciting. And we all think that leadership, it starts young. When we talk about giving students a voice, it's really not just listening, but valuing what they're telling us. And again, seeing them as contributing members of the education system. And doing research, it's really difficult to find other school districts who have a board policy, who have committed to student work. I've identified, I think, 2 others in the nation so far. They're amazed that we have a policy. They're amazed that we have a student advisory council. They're amazed that we have an entire conference that we put on just for student voice.
What will you do to make your school better? What will you do to incorporate student voice? We have a speech from Nyala.
All right. Well, middle school is such a tough time. Sometimes people think that we're too consumed by our own emotions to have logical ideas. The truth is, we still have great ideas about how to make the world around us a better place. Please engage us. No, please don't give up on us. Engage us, because one day we will make a difference. In this last month, I have been out in public about all of my opinions, and it has gotten me to the point where I'm meeting with the superintendent and talking to her about why my voice matters. And I'm going and speaking in front of 400 people to show them why I'm here. The moment we get that encouragement in, like the younger they are, the more they're going to really assert themselves within it and see that later on, like, yeah, me learning that at age 9 I can do anything I want really helped me at age 14 when I felt like I wasn't anybody. Let's study karyotype analysis and genetic disorders. Cells within memories are Microsoft. Yeah.
One of the things that we really talk about with social emotional learning is a healthy and positive climate and culture. And I think that in schools, having that foundation, just a really positive climate and culture where students feel safe, they're going to be more likely to share their voice.
Girl, you need to let your sister do her homework.
So the more you bring them to the table and get them invested in this work, I think the more they show up, not just to be there and put in the hours, but to really make some change.
I know it's not as fun as K-pop. It's pretty fun.
I'm curious to watch Naela next year. She transfers into a high school and faces that transition, the challenges. Like, what is going to be her story? Is her voice that she has found in 8th grade going to somehow help her through that transition? And to me, if it does, that's a success.
All right, so we'll come back to this question in just a moment. But I want to take a moment. We've got actually some students with us, and I'd like to give them a chance to introduce themselves. We're so happy that you're here from the Revolution School in Philadelphia. So you can go ahead and unmute, and we'd love to hear about you as we get into this conversation about filmmaking and media arts.
Hi, we're from the Revolution School. I'm Journey. I'm in the 12th grade.
Hi, I'm Lamar in 11th grade.
I'm Sudan, and I'm in 11th grade as well.
Awesome.
So far from what we're seeing, and the interest that you guys kind of have been talking about, it's a little bit interesting as far as what I'm seeing from. I don't want to say your name wrong, but is it Indra? I don't want to say
Indra.
your name wrong. Yeah. So as looking on your website and stuff and seeing what you have and what you do, it's kind of a little bit motivational to kind of see you don't really see a lot of things like that. People are willing to come on a meeting and tell a little bit about themselves and what they do and how they got there and how they can help other people get to where they want to get to. So it's kind of just amazing to be in the room, the Zoom room with you guys and learn basically your steps on how you got here and what you did and what you're doing now to even better yourself and better the people that you want to help up and coming, like my classmates.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And yeah, I don't know if you were here to hear Indra talking about gratitude, but that moment right there is what it's all about. Just showing each other gratitude and saying, okay, what can I learn from you? What can we learn from each other? And that's how I'd like to launch our conversation actually about student voice and choice. That's kind of what we're talking about, voice and choice and how we empower youth through the arts. And one of the things that I know at my core is that it's a two-way street. There are things that if we are able and open to share our knowledge, we also have to be able and open to receive knowledge and experience from the people we work with. And so that's what I learned by teaching. I taught special ed for 6 years. And I learned that there's so many things I don't know. And so when we're open and receptive to learning in all environments, then we can all grow together. So that's
Daniel, I would love to introduce Dr. Shore and have her just introduce herself. She's the leader of the school, so.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not the leader of the school necessarily. These people right here are the leaders of the school.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I am just here to support these connections. I think our school is really rooted in the idea that our learning can grow inside and outside the classroom. And so we're really all about finding ways to thread the amazing things that our young people are doing and thinking and being with the other, educational professionals and people that are working in music and film and all kinds of things. We've been connecting with real estate and with well-being professionals and what else? Food. We have some, people in food justice. So it's really these young people that are leading us.
Amazing.
I also have to say that we're so happy to be here, but they might need to leave in a few minutes because they've got class and it's the end of the quarter. So we might. So if they leave, that's the reason.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Well, then we'll just start our conversation because I'd love your input on some of these questions that we have. And the first one is really the big question, and that if you are in the Nearpod, which some people are, you can go ahead and answer that. But I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen for now so that we can see each other a little bit better. And the question is, how can we use film and digital media to equip, empower, and enhance the lives of youth? So I want to kick it to the students first. Sorry, Indra, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this in case you have to leave.
So I'm sorry. So can you say the question one more time?
Yeah, how can we use film and digital media? So even like things that you would find on TikTok or YouTube Reels or wait, what is it? YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
Sorry, Instagram Reels. I'm learning. How can we use that to equip, empower, and enhance the lives of youth?
I would say, with TikTok being such like a growing and as big as it is in today's like life for our generation, using that as kind of a platform to share out what as adults and people that are in the Hollywood spotlight or whatever just career that you're doing, because seeing stuff like that would help help me have an idea of what I want to do if I'm trying to do the same thing. Because some people our age are like stuck on what they want to do. They're trying to make their own decisions, or parents are telling them other things that they don't want to do and they're trying to find their way. So I think that TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, all of those things are very helpful by just having somebody who's out there to say, hey, you can do this and this is how I did it. And these were also my mistakes. Because some people just put out the perfect, and then when we don't do the perfect, it's kind of like we're not doing it at all. So seeing the mistakes that you guys made in the long run to see how far you went is kind of what's better for us just as a whole, so we know everybody messes up. Nobody is perfect in this world.
I agree with what Lamar said, and I also think that you could use it for connections. Like if students or young people have an interest in one thing and there's somebody out there that could help them, making the connections with those people so that they can get the help they need to further their whatever it is they want to do.
Just to piggyback off what Lamar said, I think just kids our age, just being able to look at these things, look at things like TikTok and YouTube Shorts. That within itself is an inspiration for kids who want to get into that field. It just shows them that they can do it. It's possible.
Amazing. Indra, what are your thoughts on this? I know it's a big subject.
It is a really big subject. I loved what I heard, first of all, from all of you. Thank you for sharing that. Basically, I think my message is that I want to, it makes me think of the word encouragement. Encouragement for youth to tell their stories. Stories could just be a visual of something that you created, a poem, some writing, a visual, a sketch, a stick man. I mean, it could be the simplest thing, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's about expressing yourself and giving yourself permission to do that. And I feel like all the different areas that we have now, these are opportunities. So yes, to connect, but to also find your voice and to find your creative expression, and to also connect with others. Somebody mentioned connection, and I think that's one of the things. If you are posting on social media, reach out to others and have the connection, your other teammates, your friends. I think it's an opportunity. So empowerment is a really big thing that I feel. And also, there's never going to be a right or wrong. There's nothing. There's just you sharing and connecting, and also putting yourself out there, and remembering that when you're on social media, there's going to be people that don't always like what you are sharing. So you do it regardless. You just share what you want to share, and and be creative and have fun with it. And because I can't tell you, particularly if you have a brand like myself, the Positivity Vibe Tribe. So there are a lot of people that don't agree, and that is absolutely, it's okay that people see things, they perceive things, they absorb information differently. But the people that are your tribe are going to vibe with you. That is the important piece, and that you are there for those people, those friends, those new connections, that you put yourself out there, regardless if some people don't get your message. So just remember that on social media, that you continue to post and you continue to create.
Yeah, no, that's a really good segue into our second question, which is how can we equip young people to best prepare for a career in the film industry? And what it seems you're getting at is a lot of it is energy management. Like when you are posting online, to have that true engagement, you need to not just post but also engage, and have that commenting on other people's content and learning from other people's content, and then taking what they did and bringing it into what you do, and then being able to manage the energy around those negative comments. And that's what I still struggle with, even as a full-fledged adult, or people tell me I'm an adult, but it's so hard to handle that negative feedback. And I was reading a study that said you need 20 positive comments for every one negative one to kind of flip that mindset back to I can do it. But if you don't give that energy to that negative one, then you're always at a surplus. You're at an abundance. So yeah, that's so second question's wide open. What are other things we can do to equip people to prepare for a career in the film industry?
It's for us.
Yeah, go for it. And yeah.
I want to say to better equip somebody. I don't think that ever in anything that you do you're fully prepared for what might come in the future, because you never know what other people's opinions are or what life may throw at you. But I want to say just in the mind space of just keep going, having somebody to tell me they went through these things that I could possibly go through too, going through what I want to do, and they're in the same field as me, and to see where they're at versus where I want to be at. I think having that voice of somebody to guide you and tell you that no matter what, somebody's not gonna like what you do. There's not gonna be an 100% amount of people that are gonna tell you that they want you to do that, because some people just never agree with everything. So, but they having that voice to tell me keep going. I went through this too, and this is how you handle this, and just make sure that you keep in your lane and stay focused on what you want to do, rather than to listen to a bunch of outsiders and give toxic opinions to mess up what you want to do. Just keep your head positive, keep yourself grounded, and hear the people that give negativity too, because sometimes the negativity could be a thing where, okay, these are how people feel, and take that in as well and make that negativity into a positive, because just because they're negative in the beginning don't mean they can't be positive in the end. So
Yeah, and one of the subtexts that I heard there, I was just having a conversation with a close friend a couple days ago, and we were talking about the phrase "mind your business" because you said "stay in your lane." You know, we hear that a lot, but it seemed like you were coming at it from a more positive perspective, like stay in your lane. You know, like just keep going. But you know, when I hear "mind your business," you know, I always get that negative connotation. But then I was thinking, can we flip that into be mindful of your business? You know, like be intentional, be very particular and intentional about what you're doing. So, Indra, what are your thoughts on how we can equip folks for the film industry specifically?
Well, one thing that I really do like is the famous quote from Zig Ziglar: "Success occurs when opportunity meets preparation." So that is one thing. So we can be prepared, but there are also there's also oh sorry, hang on a sec. Okay. Good morning. Back again. So I think preparation is really important. And I think it's about finding a balance. Be your own mentor. It's wonderful to have mentors, teachers, and to learn and seek guidance. But ultimately, you have to research the answers for yourself, and you have to feel what internally is really speaking to you. Even if you get a whole lot of information from people around, people in the industry, gather that information and then see what feels good for you, and really be self-sufficient with your approach to being prepared. Read up, see what interests you. There's so many different areas in the film and entertainment industry, but find your own answers. And also, attend things like attend workshops like this, do courses, have yourself really equipped so that you feel like you can make great decisions, and you feel that you are as prepared as you can be. And also, I want to talk about bringing in your mindset again. Mindset always comes back to these things because it is such a good basis, right? And starting off to nurture yourself can be really great. Like, what are the things that you need that you feel like you can benefit from, that you can take away from? Is this discussion opening your mind? Could more discussions like this open your mind and benefit you? No career path is ever going to be easy, and understand that with your mindset. Embark on the adventure of it. I tried this and it didn't work out. I have pivoted in so many different directions that you would be surprised. And I never set out to be a producer in film and television. I actually went to, when I went to university, I studied a Bachelor of Business degree. It was different, but my upbringing was very much in entertainment. From 5 or 6 years of age, I was singing, I was playing the violin, I was dancing. My parents always encouraged me to do all the art forms, pottery, get your hands on it. And even as a teenager, feel the different forms of art around you. Photography, you have your phones, you can play with that, all those things. Just explore, because you never know where you're going to draw art from to bring it into an area.
Amazing. Yeah, and I'm sensing that you guys have to go.
Yes.
But I'm getting the vibe. We appreciate you being here so much. Thank you. I mean, your contribution was amazing, and this will be on the replay on social media, so you can always see how it turns out. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you for having
Yeah,
us.
absolutely.
Thank you.
It was nice meeting everyone.
Nice meeting
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much.
All right. So we'll continue just from that point. I really loved what you were saying about that preparedness, and that just makes me think, what kind of experiences, you mentioned a few, but like what kind of specific experiences might budding film students find most helpful?
Well, okay, so I think the thing is to as in an experience, to keep your passion alive and to find ways to ignite that. I think also to be open for opportunities. So I just want to say that, you know, you don't know what the path is going to be, but to keep your creative side open, find the things that bring you passion, you know, because if we're looking at, like say the film industry, for example, there is a broad spectrum of all the different things that you can do. I mean, from, you know, do you enjoy writing? You know, you could be a writer. Do you enjoy reading? You could be a script reader. You know, you could be, I mean, there's so many different things. I mean, do you enjoy, you know, the actual behind the scenes piece, or do you want to actually step in front of the camera? So very early on, and a good example is that very early along, I was doing a lot of drama classes. I was going to acting classes. And, you know, even as a teenager, exploring those areas. Well, I decided I didn't enjoy being in front of the camera as in an actress, but I do enjoy being a host, a TV host, because I get to be me. But I don't enjoy character development. But maybe you love to go on the adventure. Maybe you like to create your character. So that's just an example of how you can find those areas of comfort and curiosity and dive into the areas like, oh, then I decided behind the scenes is really amazing for me. And if you already have some skills, like my corporate career was more like a project manager. So where do those skills fit in? Well, actually, they automatically kind of help me to pivot across with my creative background and curiosity. I'm saying curiosity again,
Yeah.
to delve into that area. And the funniest thing is that I did, you know, hang on to some of those things that you have, you know, in your childhood as a teenager, and carry them into your 20s and further. For example, I was a singer-songwriter, and I'm still delving in that, dabbling around. And that actually, I was performing on a arts show, and the producer, after the interview and after I performed with my dancers, dancing around, approached me and asked me would I be interested in producing my own segment, a music piece in her big show. So you don't know how these things are going to happen, but certainly being prepared for that, having all the background, doing all the courses that I had done and continued, well, immediately, guess what? I jumped back into doing a hosting course. I jumped back into things. But that's how, from a very small seed, an idea, that your creativity can give you a leverage that it can build to something even bigger.
Yeah. Well, it seems like that's advice almost for any career, is to follow what's most alive for you and to really chase that curiosity and passion. Because I think I fell into the trap of having somebody else decide my destiny. You know, like just I had all my friends when I was in high school said, "Oh man, you're really good at science and chemistry and human biology and you know, all the math, analytical things. You should be a doctor." Okay. So then I went to pre-med, and on my pre-med track, I saw my first cadaver, and then I was imagining them as a person and how much their family must miss them, and I was like, nope, I got to be in the humanities. So you know, I kind of had that freeze moment where I was like, what am I doing? What is this path that I'm on? And how can I, you know, pivot and find what actually is most alive for me? So yeah, Donna, I want to throw these questions over to you too, because you know I want to make sure that we can hear your voice with this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just listening, and I, you know, the word that kept coming up in my mind was immersion, right? So to me, it's all about like immersing yourself in different things and finding what, like you said, like what spurs your passion. And you don't know until you try. And sometimes you might try something like you tried the pre-med track and that's not for me, and that's okay. But you're not going to know unless you give it a try. So I just love all the examples that you're giving of just, going out and trying different things. And like you said, I mean, you started out on this business track, but ended up in film. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm all about, and that's what I always encourage students is to, find your passion and follow it. And, and you don't know where that path's going to lead. So I just think, and I think that that's why I love the topic of this discussion, because it's all about student empowerment and just finding things that you're passionate about. And whether it's in front of the camera, behind the camera, on the side of the camera, all of those different pieces can come into play. So
that's amazing. I want to take just a moment to highlight again our Nearpod that is live and will be live for the next 30 days. So you can go to join.nearpod.com. And we're now in the part of the session where it really makes a difference if you're in the Nearpod. If you join us live right now, you can type in your thoughts and you can kind of join the conversation that way. But you just have to go to join.nearpod.com and then put in that 5-digit code. You can do that for the next 30 days from today, which is January 18th, 2023. So we have about 18 minutes to get into our last question, which is one of my favorites and least favorites at the same time. Talking about challenges, like what are the roadblocks? Because I think it's really powerful to be able to call them out and to just say, okay, here's what could be in somebody's way. Here's what was in my way. Here's what I saw, So what's kind of cool about what we can do together now is if you go ahead and join the Nearpod, you can actually add things right to our collaborate board. And I swear, I'm not paid by Nearpod. I'm just a major Nearpod geek. And so I love the power of empowerment. I want to open that to you first, Indra. Is what are some of the challenges? Oh, I thought I fixed this in the film industry. I guess one of my challenges is learning through failure, right? Like success through failure, and just kind of being able to laugh at your mistakes. It's fine. Life moves on. But what are some of the challenges in the film industry?
Well, I think the thing is, I'm going to do a little sidestep with a little quick story. First of all, last night I had an interview that premiered on my YouTube channel, and you guys are so welcome to check that out. It was with Corey Arnold, and she was in huge debt, and now she's a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, and she works in the finance area. It's not directly film related, but I think the moral of this story really rang true with me. I asked her the question, if you could give some advice to your younger self, what would it be? And the thing that she thought of immediately was, she mentioned if she could tell herself when she was younger not to be so stubborn and to be able to let things go and just to keep moving forward and finding a way. And we were both roaring with laughter because I was reflecting on myself as a teenager and just kind of thinking, there's just this way, or I'm really trying to force things. And really, the thing is, we were both roaring with laughter because really it's about going with the flow. It's about finding the things that are working and that are easy for you to move forward with. And that's really sometimes the biggest challenge is yourself. Is actually, moving out of your own way. That is one thing to remember, to keep laughing and be flexible. And finding the right fit for you is going to be a journey, because it didn't happen to me until I was, early 20s, mid 20s. You're finding your way. You get the opportunity in life to learn. I feel like we're life learners. There are some people that start new careers. And, I've been meeting them in the film industry, and they're in their 30s and 40s and beyond. So there is no time limit. You are not going to run out of time if that is an area that you are curious in any type of film, television area. There is plenty of time for you. And sometimes we have to go off and experience other things and then get back on there. But part of the challenges in the film industry are pretty much the same as they are for any other career. The main challenge might be that you might think that you can't have entry into this area because you didn't go to film school. Well, I didn't go to film school either, but here I am. So just remember that there are so many different areas that you can go into, that there may be something that you have already the skills for that you're working on now. Also, the challenge is to kind of funnel what your passions are with what you're good at. I can be passionate about something and really just love it, but I might not be that good at it. So you've got to kind of marry the two and be real with yourself, okay? Just be honest. Like, this is not about criticizing yourself or anything else. That's the least thing that we want to do. We want to focus on things that we are really good at, that come to us naturally, and to build on those things, and to also coach ourselves and empower ourselves to get all the pieces of the puzzle that we need in order to do that. So anything is possible. Just remember that anything is possible if you have enthusiasm and drive. In these areas, they're not going to be viewed to you as challenges. Things are going to be learning opportunities to you.
Yeah,
Wow.
I love that, because I know Dan knows what I'm going to say, but I have a huge passion for music, but zero talent. And so that's why I love that I've partnered with the David Z Foundation, because I can feed that passion for music through their talent and through the students' talents. And so, I think, like you said, it's just really important to marry your passion and your enthusiasm with things that you might not necessarily be talented in, but that doesn't matter. If you have a passion for it, you can find a way to bring that passion out. So.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to mention that Indra, you mentioned it, what your story was a sidestep, but within it, you had 5 different challenges that emerged, and they're really big ones. And so one of the ones that made me think of too was just when you were talking about believing that you can and finding that strength and not focusing on the weakness. I think some people in the industry, and this is where you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think some people in the industry think that young people don't have the maturity, or they live on their phones, so they're in this digital world. They don't know what the real world is like. I know a lot of that rhetoric and feeling exists in the music industry. Is that something that's also in the film industry, where we're looking at like these digital experiences and saying, like, that's not real?
Yes, and I think that is a perception, and I think that's going to apply anywhere. It's something that you have to move past, and sometimes we just have to. This challenge is to prove yourself. To prove yourself that you can do this, and you're not even proving them wrong. You're just proving to yourself that you can do this, and that you can create something for yourself, a path, that fits you, that feels comfortable for you. A lot of the time, look, I see all the talent in youth, and I cannot remember a project where I didn't bring in some youth and have them in a training position, or so that they could observe the different areas that they were interested in, because observing something is really important to actually see how is it carried out. in theory, you can study things, you can read about them, and if you haven't had the experience of going to film school, or even if you have, sometimes things are done very differently out in the real world. So it's really important to support a lot of youth, and sometimes that can pivot them in a certain direction. So, you know, if you have an opportunity to even just go and observe things, I implore you and encourage you to go and observe them, and even offer a helping hand. You know, just say, hey, you know, I heard you're doing this project. I'm on vacation, or it's a weekend. I would love to put in some time. If I can help, I would also like to learn and observe. You know, just also, I think it's really important that you keep reaching out and that you do show your interest. Even if you think you may not be appreciated for what you're currently doing, or for where you are as you know, a young person, it's important to have persistence, even though you might perceive, okay, they're dismissing me a little bit, but I'm going to ignore that because my passion and curiosity for this is so much more than what I'm receiving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I really got from that was the support, and too, you know, like some people might lose steam because of that lack of support, whether it is social or financial or emotional, and a lot of that, I think, when you get into the arts in general, and you tell people I'm going to have a career in the arts, and they're like, "What's your backup plan?" You know. So there's still kind of that mentality that we can't make a living in the arts. But we're finding so many models that say, yes, we can. And we can actually bring the arts into other careers. And I think that's something that is emerging more and more as the 21st century workplace is changing. And I think to anyone in positions of power right now, please hear this. The youth that are coming up through schools right now are problem solvers. They are resilient. They are collaborative, and they are creative. So please harness those resources. And you know, sometimes it comes down to giving that support and giving that nudge when somebody meets one of those barriers, whether it's self-doubt or maybe a glass ceiling or something like that. So having somebody behind you to push you and say, yes, just keep going, you're almost there, is so critical.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. So looking at these on the Collaborate board, are there things that you think need to be represented? Other things. So far, we've got rigid thinking, self-doubt, thinking there's a time limit for career path. I love that. Educational barriers, focus on weakness, this digital experiences, the worth of them, objective to prove others wrong, or lack of support. What are some other challenges?
I also think there's also a challenge of believing in yourself. I think it's really important that we have self-belief, that we are able to believe in ourselves, that we have this unstoppable belief within ourselves that we can do something. If we don't believe in ourselves, that's where I think the challenge can also occur, that we don't believe that we can do this. We don't believe we can learn this. I mean, we have so many thoughts per day of self-doubt, and that's absolutely normal because that's how we are built as humans. Our subconscious mind is just crazy with this self-doubt thing. But I think it's really important to acknowledge this, that we are going to have self-doubt, and to continually be aware of that, bring your awareness to the self-doubt and turn that into self-belief. You know, read about it, do the research, ask questions, find out, so that you can believe in yourself that this is the right path for you.
Yeah. And that just got me thinking about experience, because I think another possible challenge could be lack of experience or access to experiences. Like, I live now in a very rural area We are in the tip-top part of California, where we're surrounded by a ring of mountains on every side and then 100 miles of national forest beyond that. So just being able to have access to the fine arts and to resources is usually over a 4 or 5 hour drive to either get to the Bay Area or Sacramento, where there's just a lot more resources. So how else can like these experiences and resources come into play? I'm just curious.
So that's a really good a really good example of that. And I would say this is where we're here right now. We have access to, to educate yourself and get involved in courses and things, sign up on courses online that are also interactive, like where you get the opportunity to be asking questions in the chat, to be present. Also get the opportunity of connecting with others, like on your social media accounts. I know, look, social media, if you let it rule you, will take over your life. But in balance, at small doses. For example, this connection here with Dan, we've become friends because we met on Twitter. Now, we would have thought on the Twitterverse, but there are a lot of good things that happen on social media that we would not have even been able to predict. I would not believe that over a year and a half ago, or however long it was, it seemed like forever, that we connected, and that you can build relationships from that. You can make connections, you can make friendships, you can work on projects together, and you can build careers around connection. But don't expect things to happen overnight. It's a process of relationship building, of seeing where your piece matches with the other person, and it's timing. Sometimes it's about timing, and be open to those opportunities where just out of nowhere an opportunity will arise. So sometimes in this very small world that we're living in, it becomes even smaller with social media, and be open to those connections and just kind of building the relationships. Be patient with that.
Yeah, that very well articulated. We're at about the 2-minute mark. Donna, I wanted to check in and see if there are any other challenges that you think could be helpful to shine a light on.
Well, I think that just knowing that I have my son actually aspires to be either on Broadway or in the film industry, and he's a middle schooler, and so I know some of the challenges he feels is that we're not in Hollywood or California. So, but I think you actually spoke to that the internet and being open to taking classes virtually is actually a great opportunity and has really opened up doors that might not have necessarily been open to people that were aspiring actors and actresses and to be in the film industry years ago. So I think that location piece, as Daniel mentioned, it could be, one of the challenges that people see.
Yeah. Well, just a quick, I could not agree more, Donna, with that. Like location is what I wrote.
Yeah.
So anybody that's in the Nearpod now, we can take a moment and check in with how we're feeling right now. It could be, any one of these. And let's see. I'm just opening the poll on my little iPad. I just I'll be transparent. I just hit kind of like the yikes face. Because I'm like, oh my goodness, we covered so much ground in such a short time. And that's, I'm so happy that we could have this time together. Thank you, Indra, for your time and your expertise. Anybody who'd like to still join this presentation, it's open for another 30 days. Go to join.nearpod.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts. There's a couple different places like the Collaborate board and then open-ended questions where you can join the conversation. You can also join, as Indra mentioned, on social media, and we can connect there. And I got to say, Indra, I also met Donna on Twitter. Like, thank you, Twitter, for this day.
Yes, thank you, Twitter.
It's interesting. So thank you all for engaging with us. You can check out Indra at indrabartona.com. It's also embedded in the Nearpod, or she's at Indra_Bartona on most social medias. And then there's our websites, globallighthousestudios.org and davidzfoundation.org, where you can check out the work that we're doing. We are right at the top of the hour, so thank you both so much. And until next time, Donna, for Workshop 6.
Sounds great.
We'll see you later. Go out and make a great day.
Make it a great day. Thank you so much, Indra. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. Love, light, and blessings.
Thank you.